Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to another video. Now, we have been really more with Mr. Ryder in these videos, but now we're going to shift all the way over to Mr. Ruff as a teacher. We're going from more social studies to religion, baby. Let's go. Now, Mr. Ruff, you wanted me to do a nice, good video on the Keys of the Kingdom movie. Well, let me tell you this. This movie, it was an interesting movie, I'll tell you that. And there's two characters that I would like to talk about in this movie that you wanted me to talk about. And that is Angus Mealy and Father Chisholm. That was the main character. That's Father Chisholm. The other one, kind of a little bit of a side character. You don't really actually see him much in the movie, but he is an important character. And that is Angus Mealy. And how his character impacts how other characters in the movie see Father Chisholm, like the Reverend Mother. So let's give a little bit of a compare and contrast at first. So a little bit of comparison. They did grow up in the same town. They both did become priests, and both went to the same college. Probably both knew that same bishop. But a little bit of contrast. Angus Mealy, he went to that college went into the seminary at that college to become a priest, where Chisholm went there to become just to graduate. Because he was going to go home and marry his Nora. But marrying his Nora became a problem, because once he left for his last year of college, Nora became bitter, as they say, and she had a kid, and she passed away. It was very sad. And as the movie develops, Father Chisholm does become a priest, and he goes to China on a mission, whereas Angus Mealy rises up the ranks and becomes a bishop. So those two characters are really took it out differently, and they do both grow in virtue, in the sense of, I would say Chisholm grows a lot more, and I would say Chisholm, he grows in virtue in the sense of, like, he's growing in virtue by, he's already a very virtuous person, but he's growing in virtue by, he's going out there and he's helping the people of China, and he had to sit there for a while and not get that many people to believe in Christianity. And he had to sit there in not that great of a home. And then he finally got this big church, because he got help from that, I don't even know what the king, king, was like a governor. And he grows in this holiness by, he goes out and he helps the people during the war, the conflict that's going on there. And he is growing in holiness by seeing all these people, by bringing Christianity into them. He's growing and he's growing. And he's a very well-mannered man. And he's a very, I would say, he's a man that will only speak good. He's a very nice man. And he knows what words to say. And he knows that the words he says will never be taken as an insult. And he does not insult anyone. Whereas Angus Mealy, he comes to China, I think, I would say he was a bishop at this point. Again, I'm not fully for sure on this one, but I'm pretty sure he was a bishop at this point. And he was coming to China and looking around, and he was, I would say, way more into the material world. And Chisholm really isn't. He didn't really care about having this big church and anything like that. And this is right after the big conflict. So he comes over to China, and he's looking at everything. He's like, oh, I want to say mass in this church. Oh, how bad is this that I can't say mass in the church? And it is such an insult to Chisholm where, I mean, Chisholm isn't going to really feel it because he doesn't really care. But it's such an insult, and it's talking such bad. And then he cares so much about this expensive wine, and he says all these things that he didn't think were an insult, but how it's said is it's talked like an insult. And then he says, well, I was gonna come over here and write this big paper and give a little speech to Ludden, but now I can't because I can't say church. It's like, oh wait, I got my speech about how I can maybe figure out how to say a speech or something like that. And it's such a like, oh, I finally figured out a way where I can get what I want. And he's very like that, but he's still a very holy person. He still cares about everyone. So, sorry. And then, I'll tell you this, to end it up. What can I learn from these characters? Is, from Chisholm, you can really learn what it's like to be a good person. And to really, you don't have to insult anyone, because people will learn to like you. But another thing you can learn is you don't want to be a pushover. Because there is some points in this movie that he does become a little bit of a pushover. And you have to take the opportunities that you can get. Now, if the opportunities aren't good, like the Rice Christians, you don't take those. But and there's other facts in this movie where he could have taken a couple more opportunities that he didn't get. And then with Angus Mealy, you have to learn from his failure character. You have to learn what you're saying. Is it the right thing to say? And a good thing is from him is it is never bad to rise through the ranks. But to counter that, when you rise through the ranks, don't let the power get to your head. Thank you, Mr. Ruff. Hope you loved the video. Peace.